Welcome, Monika and Rick.
Thank
Hi.
you. Thank you. Good to be with you.
Yeah, good to see you two too. It's I haven't had I have had two before. It's with two Santas, but you two are a little bit different to Santas. Although you are bringing goodness to the world, so it's kind of similar, isn't it?
I forgot my red hat.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people who have already been working around the world in teams, but this has just brought it so much more to the surface. You know that there's, and I wanted to put you both on and bring you together because it shows people that you don't have to do things alone in your own lounge room, just trying to struggle alone. You can find a partner somewhere else in the world and you can really build some amazing stuff like you two have built. So, it's great to have you both here and to sort of share that energy so people might be inspired by that as well, rather than just working on their own. So
I was a teacher before I became a mom. And then when I was a mom, I stayed at home. And after a while, I got a little bored once the kids went to school and I wanted to do something. So I became a yoga teacher, loved yoga, loved the exercise, but also the spiritual aspects and the growth. And then became a massage therapist. And that's where Rick comes into my story, because I was looking for a massage school around here in Michigan and found a massage school 15 minutes from my house. Rick happened to own the massage school and was the massage school teacher. And so that's how we met. And then I moved on a little while and I got a divorce. And so I was looking at, okay, how do I market myself? I need to market my yoga and my massage. Started learning marketing, some marketing tips and tricks from Rick because he had a marketing business. So then he was helping me with that. And then he and we had such a great partnership that he always tells the story, but I get to tell it this time. When we were on the phone with each other, we hadn't met each other yet, but we were on the phone with each other and just talking about massage school and what massage school could be for me and him as the teacher. And what went through his head, he always says it like there's an airplane with that sign that goes behind it. And he said, she's a great partner. And after our conversation was over, I thought to myself, wow, he's a really interesting guy. I have to get to know him better. I want to go to that school and check it out and see what that's about. And then we met each other at the massage school. I became a massage student, then learned how to be a teacher after that. And so then I was helping teach the classes. And from there on, we've been fast friends ever since.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great story. What about you, Rick? What's your background?
As a youngster, was running a summer camp for people with disabilities. I looked in the yellow pages to see massage therapy. I called 3 people. I was in college at the time, and so I didn't really get what they were doing in their lives. Like, what does it mean? Never heard of it. So one woman said, go to this school, blah, blah, blah. I ended up going to the school. And when I graduated, I was invited to come back to do accreditation. So I started a career not realizing that I began a career developing schools. And since I've developed 6 schools and been a teacher in various aspects of training and also placing massage therapy curriculum into colleges. So that was the core of my professional world all along the way, teaching business and marketing to practitioners. So since 1995, I've been teaching business marketing technique to practitioners to be in their own practices and to perpetuate that. In 2014, I created a project for veterans to teach stress and pain management strategies for daily living to veterans and their families. Mm. And I ran into a veteran and at a local Korean spa. And we became fast friends, and he became a marketing person for that place, inviting me to a meeting. The place ended up hiring me to do marketing for them. 2 friends of mine the 2 years previous to that, we were creating a software. And so it just so happened, like the convergence of circumstance, gave us the opportunity to do some marketing for this place. And since then, I had my school in a desert in Michigan. So I had to figure out, how do I reach this audience? And there were these marketing tools. And I realized I need to go deeper for myself in digital marketing and really get, like, how do I reach this audience in this desert.
Mm.
It was really dry. Have since created an agency. Monika and I were already friends. We were also being kind of reciprocally supportive. And just in conversation, I was like, "Well, what do you think about joining this, being a part of this?" And so now here we are, a part of this. Yeah. And so we've been able to transform the one-on-one experience to the one to thousands experience, to be able to bring the message of healing and to support communities and people who are doing extraordinary things. And they may not call it healing. They might call it educating people. They might call it feeding the homeless. They might call it taking kids off the street. They might call it all kinds of things. But underneath all of that is healing.
Mm. And healing the world too.
Right on.
Yeah. Did you know when you got together, had you already decided, right, let's do a marketing company, let's have these three branches to it, and let's call it Blitzbee? Or did it how did it start, and how did it evolve and come to be Blitzbee?
If you think about Blitz, that Blitz where we run around like crazy people and we're in our to-do list and we're in that blitz of life.
Yeah.
And then you think about be, who is it that I'm being while I'm doing my to-do list?
Yeah.
So who is it that I'm being? So that's where we got Blitz B and took Blitz and B and put them together as one word.
Now tell us about your the lifestyle. So I need to read this integrative lifestyle directory. Now you've got, I didn't want to miss that first word. You've got 20,000 members. So like who's using this? Who are those members and what's it for?
We have a little more than 20,000 people listed in the directory, and the directory is set up as an integrative lifestyle directory, meaning what is a holistic perspective of the lives that we live, and how do we want to support that, and what are the resources for that? Maybe I need, what we say in the website is whole health, massage, finance, mindset, and ritual. And those are the aspects that we really want to be clear about to create that whole life. I have to go to work. I also have to deal with my family. I also have to deal with my home. I also have to deal with my neighbors, everything. But from that perspective of integrative living, whole person living, we really wanted to serve the audience who shares that mindset, who's interested in supporting people who have high-end, high-quality products and high-quality services, so that people know where to go, and that they're not out there just running around trying to figure it out piecemeal. So we started inviting people to come to the directory, practitioners as well as business owners who have that kind of, that kind of approach to living, also that kind of approach to business. So it's newer. We're happy to report it's up and it's running, and we tend to mold it like a little bit of a clay. As we're creating our summit, it gives us a chance to look at it with a different lens. One of the gifts of the summit is working with social entrepreneurs. So people who really fit the category of that person that we're looking for to be a part of the directory, and of course their audiences. So I like it.
What about your organic shop?
It's mostly CBD products right now.
Okay.
Because CBD is a big product, and we know that has been a helpful product for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And CBD has now been put into facial products and into all kinds of different forms. And it's helpful on many, many levels. And I use it with massage, and a lot of massage therapists are using it. So it's a healing. And I don't know any entrepreneur who hasn't ever been stressed out, or maybe has a little anxiety, or we all deal with a little bit of anxiety, some stress, some depression maybe. And those products support our whole being again as an entrepreneur.
So with your marketing, what is the biggest issue that you see that people have with their digital marketing?
I think the biggest issue, in truth, is knowing. People don't really know. People don't understand the power of the internet. People don't really get how it works. Business owners traditionally have brick and mortar stores, and so they have very good and traditional systems for outreach, snail mail, even email. A lot of places are, use that and use that pretty easily. But it's very much unknown still.
Yeah.
What are the tools available online? When we have conversation, probably every single interview we've done, we hear where people are lacking some really simple tools. And so I think our biggest job is just to educate and to bring people into the possibility of what exists online. And then to look at strategy. Fundamentally, every business needs traffic. So what does it mean to get traffic, and how can we do that in a cost-effective way, but also in a really profound way? There's something called pixels, which allow us to stay tethered to people who just visited our website. So you were looking at that pair of shoes recently, and then you see it all over the internet, no matter where you go. Well, that's a result of pixels. So as a consumer, I might be annoyed by that, but as a business owner, I'm really grateful for that, because I can build a relationship with you, whether it's just by showing you that product over and over again, or if I rotate a testimonial, or the product you looked at, or a new offer, or even just sharing with you the values that I have as a business owner in a little ad. So there's several ways to use pixels. But that's just one example of how important it is as business owners to become clear what's available for you online that you're not using, that you could be using, that maybe aren't as expensive as you might be thinking.
And so as we looked at what we wanted to take on next, and how we want to move next, we talked about a summit. We talked about what it would be like, how we would do it. And then we dove in. And so then it was a matter of, okay, what's the name? How do you do a summit? What's the process? Moving into the process of that. And the Gold Rush Summit, a movement that transforms lives, was born. And it was really born from all of the experiences that we've had in the past to where we are now. And really awesome giving a stage to people like you, because you were one of our speakers, being able to put you on a stage where we can hear more about what social entrepreneurs are doing to really support the human beings that are on our planet. And we are reaching all over the place. We're having conversations with people in Portugal and all over the States. You're in Australia, so we're talking to people in Australia. And it's been a fabulous experience. Really, part of it is learning from everyone else also. And I'll let Rick add more to that.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, one of the gifts, even just going back to the last question around like, what is digital marketing? We don't know what we need. So part of the summit is really introducing what we call an online audit, so that we can just look at your business as it's presented online. What do you have already? What's missing? What do you need? What are people saying about you online? How is your information listed online? Is the information correct? Is it congruent? Is it consistent? So there's, from the perspective of the online audit, we get very clear about what a business needs and also what a business doesn't need. It's much like going to the doctor. Like the doctor wouldn't prescribe something to you without assessing you first. And so that we do the same. The online audit is a chance for us just to assess, what does this business look like online? And then we make recommendations accordingly. And so the summit has been this most extraordinary experience already. And the moving parts, as much as the speakers and the story that everyone is bringing forward to get people off the bench, to get off the bench. Like, that's such a beautiful, I love that. When I saw your information, I just thought everybody in the world gets that. Everybody, no matter where you live, what you're up to, like everybody gets that. And that's the message that we want to convey through the summit. Like, everybody get off the bench, because the world needs you. Then the world really needs you. The world is hurting. And if I have it in me, then it doesn't cost me anything to extend myself to that person who might need something. So that's my pleasure. How do we do that as a business? How do we do that as business owners? How do we use the online tools available to create that experience exponentially greater than what we thought it could be? Well, that's what we wanted to bring to the summit, and of course to everyone we're working with.
So what you are doing is interviewing people online, like doing videos, pre-recorded videos, so that it can all be presented, over 3 days. And so people can, so you pay to register, and even if you can't be there like for the whole time, you can't sit there and watch video after, you can still get the recordings and that sort of stuff.
There's lots of options. We want to make sure there's enough options for everybody. So there is a way you can pay to get an all access pass. The all access pass gives you more than the free. So people can just watch it for free. That's the first step.
Okay. Yeah.
You can sign up and you can watch the whole thing for free. So we want to make it accessible to everyone. Yeah. And then there's an all access pass for people who are busy or for people who want to rewatch things. I'm that person that loves to watch a movie and then several years later watch it and I'm like, I don't even remember that part of it. And then the all access pass brings in the bonus interviews also, where we get to go a little deeper with each of the speakers and have some more time talking to each of the speakers. Yeah. So it's just really exciting.
Yeah, and I did one of those with you, and that was fantastic. That is really big. The problem is I get too passionate. I don't think you could stop me. I was just going hell for leather. I love once I get the stage, I'm that's it. I go for it. But that I thoroughly enjoyed that. And if every speaker that you have involved, is giving that same enthusiasm and giving that all that information and really sharing their heart, to have that all access pass, that's going to be a mind-blowing, toolbox of information and so much inspiration in there. So, wow.
They'll be clear for themselves, like what is step 1, 2, or 3 even. And, there's, as we are, information comes at us, so we maybe don't process it all, but I do think that things are simple and eloquent enough for a participant to walk away empowered and informed, again, to take that action. Yeah. And then what would I love to see? I would love to see that. I'd love to see people taking that action so that whatever stops them as a result of the Gold Rush Summit, they're able to move it out of the way. They don't have to, energy doesn't need a name to exist. So we don't have to call it something. We can just acknowledge like something stops me sometimes. And so I would love to see that whatever that is that's stopping them is no longer there for them as a result of being a part of the summit and listening to you speak about getting off the bench and then actually getting off the bench, to listen to some of the other speakers, Dr. Shelley, who we spoke to earlier. I could give you a list, but every single person is coming through, not with just passion, and not just with a story, but with a life lived, like you're living it. You're not talking about it, you're living it. And that shifts me. It shifts me personally inside. So therefore I can, and I know that I can, and I know how, because you've given that to me as a gift as a result of being a part of the summit.
What I'm realizing is that if we can come from the possibility of nothing, really strip it down to nothing. Yeah. So that everything is possible, because out of nothing, we can create anything. Yeah. And so as I'm looking at our speakers and I'm having these incredible conversations that are really touch moving and inspiring me, and I'm already just like, if nothing else happens, I'm so cool because I'm so grateful for all of the conversations and everything that has occurred already, and the gifts that keep coming out of nothing are absolutely mind-blowing, because I didn't create it ahead of time. What I did create was a concept of the Gold Rush Summit, and we put the energy in it, a movement that transforms lives. Yep. So like those ripples, when we throw the stone in, we don't know where they're going to go. And those lives that are going to be transformed from your conversation, from this conversation, from anything, put it out there and be in the possibility of nothing, so that we can then create everything.
I'm not big on giving advice, but if I were to coach someone into it, I might suggest to them, what is the big dream? Like if you could visualize that, like what is that? And then I would support them in identifying just one action, not 10. Let's just get to number one. And then when they have that experience with number one, you know, they can touch, feel, experience, hear, smell the experience. And then from there, you know, we can facilitate step two. But I think so often we look at a project and we're like, oh my gosh, that's bigger than me. Well, it is. But if you think about just getting up off the chair to walk to the living room, because that's where the computer is, that's an action. And that action counts. And I can do that one. Let me just get one done, you know?
Yes, take that one action. And one thing, I'm a planner and I like to see what's coming. And there's a little bit of worry sometimes there. And what I'm learning, some of what I'm learning is to take an action and not think 7 actions down the road, but just the next one. Take the next action. Take the next action. And I'm constantly reminding myself of how to eat an elephant, one bite at a time. And it's just one action at a time. And when we can actually be in that moment, be in the moment, even if it's something that we're doing, I'm really learning how to be and not be like, I have a to-do list and I like to check my to-do list off. And sometimes I forget to be when I'm in my to-do list. So being able to be is a new step for me. And then taking that one action and then the next one action and then the next one action instead of having to look at it as this humongous thing.
Yeah.